The Extreme program is here and I have the perfect guide for you if you are an average to below average player. Our first step is going to revolve around moments, but we're not completing all of the moments, we're only doing the ones suggested. The first one is going to be the Mike Piazza moment, in which we have one game to tally 2 extra base hits, one of which needs to be a home run. So what I would highly suggest is, if you do not hit that home run in your first at bat, to continue on restarting that moment until you finally do hit a home run in that first at bat. And if you struggle with zone, what I would also suggest is switching to directional, because that at times makes it a whole lot easier to hit a home run in moments like this. Second, we are completing Ken Griffey Jr.'s one plate appearance in which it needs to be a home run. If you struggle with zone, especially on legend difficulty, switch to directional and look to time that pitch up. Hopefully you catch something that hangs and you're able to bang it. But this is definitely one of the more difficult moments you will have to complete, but it is 100% worth it because it's better than the other options we have available to us. Billy Wagner's moment is going to be the third moment we look to complete. It is the length of 7 games, so you don't have to do it all in one game, which is beautiful because you can practice the close that method here. So you have 7 innings to pitch without giving up a run. If at any point in time in any of those innings you are pitching, a runner is close to scoring or you give up a no doubt home run, pause it before the runner even gets near home or before the ball lands and close the app and then reopen it. When you do that, it allows you to pick up right where you left off before you gave up that home run or that runner scored, not making you restart your progress all the way back to the beginning. Number 4 is Matt Cain's practice makes perfect. Now I know that this might seem like one that is impossible to complete, but the fact that it is on veteran difficulty and not all-star difficulty or higher makes it a little bit more easier to complete because he's going to be a 99 overall pitcher with amazing attributes, which should reduce greatly the amount of hits your opponent can get. This is going to be one that is a little bit more tedious, but it's on the easier side. It's just where your luck is. Ketel Marte hits 2 home runs in one game is going to be the hardest moment out of all that we have to complete. Why? Because it's hitting 2 home runs. So similar to the Mike Piazza where you restart if you don't hit a home run in your first at bat, I will do the exact same thing with this Ketel Marte moment. Can't count out the M's. With your Diamond Dynasty squad down 8-1 in the top of the 6th, you have to come all the way back to beat the Toronto Blue Jays on all-star difficulty. The Toronto Blue Jays only have one left-handed reliever. So what would I do here? I would go ahead and set up my lineup full of lefties, the best lefties I have in terms of contact and power versus right, and then in terms of clutch as well. But in addition to all of that, if I do not at least cut the deficit down to half in that top of the 6, I am going to restart each and every single time until I am able to score a minimum of 3 runs in that top of the 6. And if you're someone that is not too comfortable with your hitting ability, then I would go ahead and make it a couple of more runs, meaning you score 4 to 5 in that top of the 6 to make it a 2-run ball game with 9 outs left. Adley Rutschman makes it look easy. You have 4 games to tally 25 total bases. So that means you have to average roughly 6 total bases a game. So here we are going to practice the close app method again. So in our first game, we don't get 6 total bases minimum. What we would do is we would just restart the moment from the first game until we get a minimum of 6 total bases in that first game. Now in that second game, if we do not get 6 total bases before we even have the risk of our last at bat, or our last at bat is caught for an out, or anything that would go ahead and end the moment right there and progress you to the next game, we would pause the game, close the app, and then re-enter that app in that second game looking to get 6 total bases. And whenever we do get 6 total bases in that second game, then we go on to the third, and then we go on to the fourth. The final moment that I would want you to complete is Morel stays mashing. The reason why is because you have 12 games to hit 9 home runs, so 3 of those games are essentially throwaway games. If you don't like the pitching matchup or you don't like the stadium, go ahead and give it a try, but keep in mind that you have 3 games that you could throw away before you have to practice the close app method before the final out of your last at bat or the risk of it being your last at bat in general. But you're gonna try to hit a home run in that first game. If you don't, and you don't like the pitching matchup or the stadium, then you can go ahead and advance to game number 2. But what I would highly suggest to make it a whole lot easier on you is to go ahead and hit a home run in that first game and then continue to that second game. And if in that second game you don't like the pitching matchup, then there you can go ahead and skip to the third and see if it's favorable. But of course, the easier method and the fastest way to complete this would be to try and hit a home run in those first 9 games while closing app whenever it's gonna be the final out of your last at bat or the chance of it being your last at bat. Meaning, if you just hit in the 8th, even if the game is tied, you don't want to take the risk of seeing whether you hit in the 10th. Instead, you would just close app before that final out is recorded in the 8th in order to enter that game once again in whether it's the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th game. By completing these moments, you are going to have a total of 30 program points, which is going to allow you to unlock this 99 overall Ketel Marte. What happens next is you are going to go ahead and insert that Ketel Marte into your lineup, and he is going to be your leadoff hitter. Now we're going to do the play versus CPU approach in order to go ahead and grind out the 50 hits. And this is going to be a grind, let me tell you, but there's a reason it's called the Extreme Program. So you're gonna go and face the Colorado Rockies, face them away, put your 5th best starting pitcher. It doesn't matter who that 5th best starting pitcher is. Just put your 5th best starting pitcher, and then Ketel Marte would be your leadoff hitter, and you're doing this on rookie difficulty. As soon as his at-bat is complete, regardless of whether he hit a hit or he struck out or grounded out, flew out, whatever the case may be, you are going to quit out and rinse and repeat until you get yourself 50 total hits. Billy Wagner is the player we unlock whenever we complete the 50 hits with Ketel Marte. But before we dive into why that's important, please make sure to hit that like button or subscribe button, notification bell. We stream on Twitch daily at 9 p.m. Eastern, so make sure you guys check out the description for those links. Aiming for 30,000 subscribers before the end of July. Is it possible? Only you can dictate that. But the reason why unlocking Billy Wagner is going to be super important for us is because his mission is going to be saves with Billy Wagner. We need to get ourselves 10 total saves with him, and the next step is going to be a way in which we're going to knock out PXP for Ketel Marte, PXP for Billy Wagner, and also work on getting Billy Wagner's saves out of the way. Step number 3 with Ketel Marte still as your leadoff hitter is going to be Extreme Conquest. Now, like I've said previously, Conquest was going to force you to play some of these games on Hall of Fame difficulty and higher difficulties in general. That's why I always suggested, hey, play this game on All-Star minimum instead of trying to find the easiest route on rookie or veteran difficulty, because then when Conquest Extreme came around, you were going to be struggling big time. But if you do not beat the Colorado Rockies first try, I would go ahead and restart the map until you beat them first try. In general, whenever a game is within 3 runs in the final inning, that is a save opportunity. You want to bring in Billy Wagner each and every single time that there is a save opportunity. One thing I would also suggest, even if it is not a save opportunity, let's say you're in the 3rd and it's tied 0-0 because you struggle on Hall of Fame, I would highly suggest still bringing in Billy Wagner there, because it allows him to work on his PXP progress, which is one of the missions that we have to do. But in order to get the saves, as I've said previously, the game needs to be within 3 runs. It's very difficult to go ahead and get a 3 innings pitch save in Conquest, considering the games are only 3 innings. Another thing, because I did the calculations for you all, is that by going ahead and assuring that Billy Wagner pitches at least 1 inning, it being the 3rd inning each and every single time, in terms of parallel XP, he's going to gain 1,200 just from that 1 inning pitched each and every single game, considering there is 30 conquest games. Now it's going to be a lot more than that, because you're going to have the opportunity to get the save, you might have the opportunity to get the hold, you have the opportunity to get the win, and if you get strikeouts, it all adds on to that. And because Ketel Marte is going to be leading it off, because there are 30 conquest games, let's say that you at least get one runner on base, or at least get yourself a double. That way Ketel Marte has 2 plate appearances. Because there are also 30 games there is a guaranteed 600 parallel XP that you will gain from Ketel Marte with the additional single, double, triple, home run, RBI, whatever the case may be. You have a chance to earn that extra, but this is the minimum you can get, which in total for both of them is going to be a guaranteed 1,800 PXP for all 30 stronghold games. Now, another thing that I would highly suggest in order to knock out that 5,000 PXP mission as soon as possible is whenever you get to the point in Extreme Conquest where the games are at a difficulty that you feel confident in and comfortable in consistently winning, I would go ahead and now bring in Billy Wagner, and this is only if you've already completed the 10 saves. I would bring him as an opener. That way he has the opportunity to try to pitch the entire 3 innings if you guys have a big lead and get even more PXP completed towards him. But if you still need saves, obviously you're going to save them until the 3rd. By completing all of this inside of the Extreme program, you are going to be at 65 program points, which is going to allow you to unlock yourself Mike Piazza. At step 4, you should be at 65 program points and should have unlocked Mike Piazza. So what are we going to do now? We're going to go ahead and make Mike Piazza our leadoff hitter. And the reason we're doing this is because this is the fastest and most effective way to do it. You're going to go into play versus CPU, face the Rockies as away, and it doesn't matter who your 5th pitcher is. Just select your 5th best overall pitcher, and you are only going to participate in Mike Piazza's at bat. I don't care if Ketel is your 2nd hitter. You're only participating in Mike Piazza's at bat. If he hits a home run, hooray. If he doesn't, we quit out and we rinse and repeat the process until we get ourselves those 15 home runs. Why? Because at 15 home runs, we are going to have 70 program points. And then here is when you actually go ahead and grind out more innings with the play versus CPU. You're going to use Billy Wagner as your opener. You're going to use Ketel Marte as your 1st hitter, Mike Piazza as your 2nd hitter, and you can play on legend difficulty if you want to, or you could play on rookie difficulty. Legend difficulty should make it a little bit easier for you in terms of getting the pitcher PXP, but you don't have Matt Cain unlocked yet, but you want to unlock Matt Cain. So that's why Billy Wagner is going to be your opener. You're going to go ahead and make those 2 guys the first 2 hitters, and then the rest of the hitters can be your personal players that you want to go ahead and bunt with, or common players for you to go ahead and bunt with. But you're going to bunt with each and every single player that is not named Mike Piazza or Ketel Marte, unless Mike Piazza and Ketel Marte are in scoring position. If they are, then you want to go ahead and drive them in, because that's going to be extra PXP towards the 5,000 total. What I would do is I would play it on legend difficulty against the Royals, and every 3 innings complete, I would go ahead and quit out until I get myself 5,000 PXP with the Extreme program players, which is going to give me an additional 5 program points, which is then going to go ahead and unlock Matt Cain, which has another mission, which is going to be to tally 50 innings pitched. Once you have unlocked Matt Cain, we're gonna start focusing on his 50 innings pitched mission. So you're gonna keep the exact same squad, exact same lineup. The only thing that changes is that Matt Cain is inside the starting rotation, and now we're gonna simultaneously work towards 10,000 PXP as well as the innings pitched towards Matt Cain. So we have to play a total of 6 games, 9 innings pitched in order to complete the 50 innings pitched. By completing 6 games, you're going to overdo it, but it's going to be great for PXP, because I also went ahead and calculated, and for Matt Cain, because you are going to be pitching 9 innings with him, complete games, you are going to be allowing him to get, basically, if you include the 9 innings pitched and the win, 3,240 PXP total in those 6 games. And because Ketel Marte and Mike Piazza are going to be your first 2 hitters, and they most likely will get 4 plate appearances per game, you're going to be able to get a total of 480 PXP from those games as well, guaranteed, which together is going to be a total of 3,720. Now, of course, you should be able to obtain a whole lot more than that, because I'm not taking into consideration the PXP bonuses you get for striking out hitters, or taking into consideration the PXP bonuses you get for hitter performances such as singles, RBIs, and scoring runs yourself. So that's going to allow you to push even further. But once those 2 are completed, you should be at 90 program points. And now at 90 program points, it's going to be either you take the optional step or you go ahead and grind even more. Optional step number 1 is just go ahead and flat out buy this Tom Glavine card, who is currently selling for 300k, but as time goes on, he should drop in price and you should be able to snag him at a more reasonable price. Go ahead and either buy him straight up to complete the 100 program points. Trust me, the stubs are going to be worth the time you would have invested if you did not complete it the optional way in terms of buying him. Or option 2, when it comes to optional, is you can grind the event for 20 wins and get yourself this Tom Glavine and then lock him into the collection, and you're going to be done with it. Now, if you do not want to take in that optional step and you're saying to yourself, man, I love the grind, I want to continue grinding, then the next step would be playing mini seasons. And in particular, you are playing mini seasons extreme. Once again, you want Ketel and Mike Piazza as your first 2 hitters. Why? Because it just makes it a whole lot funner that way, and you're gonna win 15 games on all-star difficulty inside the regular season, as well as going ahead and completing 60 total bases inside the regular season. That's going to give you 2 of the mini seasons vouchers, and then you want to make sure you make it to the playoffs. Once you make it to the playoffs, you're going to get 1 voucher, so that's 3, and then once you win the semifinals, you advance to the championship, that's going to be an extra 2. So that's going to be 5 vouchers, which is 10 program points, and it allows you to go ahead and complete the program as well. But this way, you go ahead and eliminate yourself the Extreme Showdown, as well as some of the moments that are a whole lot more difficult to complete, and you don't even have to worry about the 25,000 PXP mission. But knowing all the conquest games and play versus CPU you're about to grind, you'll probably complete it a couple of times, which might even allow you to not even have to buy the Tom Glavine and instead get away with just buying Bruce Sutter as the optional reward, depending on where you're at whenever it comes to the point where you're at 90 plus in order to complete the program. With all that being said, I hope you guys did end up enjoying today's content. Once again, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Check out the description for the Twitch, Twitter, and other links. We stream every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. Can we get 30,000? You guys are gonna have to show me. Have a blessed day and night. Stay positive, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace out.